Hey there, and welcome to INTE5100, what will be LDT5100 in time here. My name's Taylor Kendall. I'm excited to get the fall kicked off. Had to jump outside and take in some sun while it was warm here before things cool down. Just wanted to jump in and give a sense for who I am and some of my background, as well as just lay some sort of foundational information on the course itself and just sort of the broad structure, how we'll move through the semester here. I am a native to Colorado, have lived in and around Denver my whole life. So Denver's definitely where I call home. Lifelong sort of educator, designer, tinkerer at the edges of all things technology and education. Had worked for a while with the Library of Congress, which was a little more K-12 focused. Then spent quite a bit of time at the university level, doing some instructional design work as well as teaching, and then most recently also worked a bit with the U.S. Department of Education and looking at some sort of broader policy implications around technology, emerging tech, in particular distributed ledgers and blockchain. So that's sort of my professional path, but hopefully some of those experiences will sort of intersect and help guide some of the work that you all dive into. The course itself is sort of broken into 4 broad phases: discover, design, develop, and deliver. So just know at any point you're probably sort of in one of those modes of thought. Each of those phases then is broken into 2 units, and then each unit broken into 2 modules. So we got phases, we've got units, and we've got modules. The key thing to think about and to be aware of really is there's going to be a single module sort of to complete each week. So as long as you sort of focus on the module that is at hand for any given week and what's required, then you should be in good shape. It's also worth noting that we'll sort of bounce between absorb and create weeks. So certain weeks will be certainly heavier on sort of reading and digesting content, maybe more discussion. Other weeks will certainly be heavier on just creating and producing components for the solution design document, which is sort of the overarching project that will guide us. You'll hear the term solution design document quite a bit, so just kind of get comfortable. That's sort of the big project we're all going to be working towards, building out these documents that lay the planning and the instruction to solve a particular problem. But we'll dive into that obviously more as we get going. The course itself is really just meant to give you a taste of different components that go into developing good sound instruction and solving a problem. Hopefully it's very applicable and feels like it applies to work that you might be involved in. It's not necessary. You can also take a very sort of hypothetical approach, but I'm definitely going to encourage those that have a very real problem at hand to make this applicable and practical, and hopefully some of the work that comes out of the course is directly applicable to whatever your sort of professional context might be. The course itself will feel fairly structured at times and fairly unstructured and a bit chaotic at times. That's just I think that's how learning occurs. It's individual, it's subjective, it's creative. There's no single way to do this sort of work. So know that I'm going to support a fair amount of just sort of agency and you taking control of the direction you want things to go and how it's going to be most meaningful to you. That there are these specific projects and sort of assignments that will act as sort of anchors or waypoints that'll help keep the ship on course. But it's definitely a course that you can take a lot of control over and have it be most meaningful to you. It's definitely project-based. It's definitely collaborative. I am not going to do a lot of lecturing. In fact, this will probably be the longest I speak. We will have time to interact more live this way, but it's definitely more project-based and collaborative and not so focused on lecture. Speaking of collaborative, we will partner up. So within groups of 2 or potentially 3, we will be both learning how to collaborate and coordinate with each other, which I think is very applicable to how this work often plays out. But obviously, we'll also have opportunities to sort of individually work on certain things as well. So just be prepared. We are going to partner up, and we'll sort of each group will find a topic and focus and project to work towards. I've just found that collaborative nature really does, as much as there is some difficulty and tension at times, it also ultimately always seems to lead to a better experience. So that's about it as far as the general structure. Dive into the syllabus and a lot of the early material. What's on the syllabus should give you everything you need to be successful. So definitely take a peek at that in some detail, and know that I am open. I will try to be as available as possible when questions come up. You can both email me or preferably I'd love to see some questions come through in the virtual office, just so we can share in that knowledge there. So that's just sort of an open public place for us to dive into some questions or just have discussions. I think that's about it. I want this to be a space where we can feel safe and also critical, and I don't. Some will have had a sort of. I think this course will be either familiar for some that have been through this program and maybe taken some other courses that were a little more open and organic in nature. For those that have only had very sort of structured, very prescriptive sort of experiences in their education, this course might feel a little jarring. It's with intention, and I really hope that we all get something out of it, with it being a little bit unstructured and a little bit more playful and creative. So know that it's a balance of both those things. As instructional design is, it's the course itself is really meant to model what this work ultimately, will be and can be when it plays out. Both very structured and also very sort of open and creative at the same time. So that's about it. We're already at 7 minutes, which is much too long. So thank you, everybody. Welcome, and let's get started.